By what name is the plant, Atropa belladonna, more commonly known? Deadly nightshade. Atropa belladonna, commonly known as deadly nightshade, is a highly toxic perennial herbaceous plant in the nightshade family Solanaceae. It contains tropane alkaloids that can cause severe anticholinergic effects. Under which two bridges does the university boat race pass? Hammersmith Bridge and Barnes Bridge. The University Boat Race, an annual rowing competition between Oxford and Cambridge, traditionally traverses a course on the River Thames in London. The racecourse passes under Hammersmith Bridge and Barnes Bridge. What is the common name given to the spectacular light show, the Aurora Borealis? The Northern Lights. The Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights, is a natural light display in the sky, predominantly seen in the high-latitude regions, around the Arctic and Antarctic. Auroras result from disturbances in the magnetosphere caused by solar wind. Which London museum houses the world's largest collection of decorative and design? The Victoria and Albert Museum. The Victoria and Albert Museum, V&A, in London is a leading institution dedicated to art and design. Its vast collection spans various cultures and periods, making it a significant resource for researchers and enthusiasts. In the US, who represents the government in the prosecution of criminal offenses? The District Attorney. In the United States, the District Attorney, DA, is a public official who represents the government in criminal cases within a specific jurisdiction. The DA is responsible for investigating crimes, deciding whether to bring charges, and prosecuting cases in court. What geometric shape is common to the flags of Japan and Bangladesh? A red circle. The red circle on both the Japanese and Bangladeshi flags symbolizes the sun. In the case of Japan, it represents the rising sun, a central symbol of the nation. In Bangladesh, it represents the rising sun over Bengal. The Red River is a tributary of which U.S. river? Mississippi. The Red River, forming part of the border between Oklahoma and Texas, eventually flows into the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is one of the largest river systems in the world by drainage area. In which branch of the British Army would a red cap serve? Royal Military Police. Red cap is a colloquial term for members of the Royal Military Police, RMP, in the British Army, easily identified by their distinctive red-peaked caps. The RMP is responsible for policing the British Army, both in the UK and overseas. What is the name of the high-speed train service that connects London to Paris and Brussels? Eurostar. Eurostar is a high-speed rail service that connects London with several European cities via the Channel Tunnel. It has significantly reduced travel times between major European capitals. The Connect Trades Union is for workers in which sector of industry? Communications. Connect is a trade union in the United Kingdom representing professionals and managers in the communications sector. The union advocates for its members' rights and interests within the rapidly evolving communications industry. What is the anatomical term for the tube that connects the pharynx and larynx to the lungs? The trachea. The trachea, also known as the windpipe, is a vital component of the respiratory system. It allows for the passage of air from the upper respiratory tract to the lungs, enabling respiration. What is the name of the strait that connects San Francisco Bay to the Pacific Ocean? Golden Gate. The Golden Gate is a strait that connects San Francisco Bay to the Pacific Ocean and is spanned by the Golden Gate Bridge. It is a significant geographical feature in California. What device connects a computer to the internet? A router. A router is a networking device that forwards data packets between computer networks. Routers perform the traffic directing functions on the internet, ensuring data reaches its correct destination. From which language is the word umami, one of the 5 basic tastes, borrowed? Japanese. Umami, often described as a savory taste, is one of the 5 basic tastes, alongside sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. The term originates from the Japanese language. True or false? Apples belong to the rose family? True. Apples belong to the Rosaceae family, also known as the rose family. This family includes many other common fruits like pears, peaches, and strawberries. What percentage of water does a cucumber contain, making it one of the most hydrating foods? 96%. Cucumbers are known for their high water content, approximately 96%, which contributes to their hydrating properties. They are often consumed for their refreshing and hydrating qualities, especially in hot weather. What name is given to unsolicited or undesired electronic messages? Spam. Spam refers to unsolicited and typically unwanted electronic messages, often sent in bulk for commercial purposes. It poses security risks and clogs communication channels. In Arthurian legend, for what was the Fisher King responsible? Holy Grail. In Arthurian legend, the Fisher King is the wounded keeper of the Holy Grail. His wound is often associated with the wasteland, a desolate landscape that reflects his impaired state. Which theory of behavioral science states that positive reinforcement and indirect suggestion to achieve non-forced compliance can be more effective than direct legislation? Nudge. Nudge theory proposes that subtle changes in the way choices are presented can influence people's decisions without restricting their freedom of choice. It is often used to improve outcomes in areas like health and finance. Which iconic symbol of American independence is found in Philadelphia? Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, is an iconic symbol of American independence. It was originally cast in London and has a prominent crack, believed to have occurred sometime in the mid-19th century. The creation of the county of Cumbria resulted in the disappearance of which two former counties? Cumberland and Westmoreland. The administrative restructuring of England in the 20th century led to the creation of new counties and the dissolution of older ones. The formation of Cumbria in 1974 involved merging Cumberland and Westmoreland, along with parts of Lancashire and the West Riding of Yorkshire. In the Christian Eucharist, which two items represent the body and blood of Jesus Christ? Bread and wine. The Eucharist, also known as Holy Communion, is a central Christian sacrament commemorating the Last Supper. Bread and wine are consecrated to represent the body and blood of Jesus Christ, respectively, symbolizing his sacrifice. Which Nobel Prize winner was offered the presidency of Israel? Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, renowned for his theory of relativity and contributions to quantum mechanics, was offered the presidency of Israel in 1952 by Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion. Einstein declined the offer, citing his lack of experience in politics and governance. For what condition is the Ishihara test used? Color blindness. The Ishihara test is a color perception test for red-green color deficiencies. It consists of a series of colored plates, each containing a circle of dots appearing randomized in color and size. To what did the codename, Trinity, refer during its initial testing? Atom bomb. The Trinity test was the first detonation of a nuclear weapon, conducted by the United States Army on July 16, 1945, as part of the Manhattan Project. The successful test paved the way for the use of atomic bombs in World War II. In chemistry, which test is employed to ascertain the acidity or alkalinity of a solution? Litmus test. The litmus test is a simple method used to determine whether a solution is acidic or basic. Blue litmus paper turns red under acidic conditions, while red litmus paper turns blue under alkaline conditions. What is the name of the assessment administered to newborn infants to ascertain their condition? Apgar test. The Apgar test is a quick assessment of a newborn's physical condition, typically performed at 1 and 5 minutes after birth. It evaluates heart rate, respiration, muscle tone, reflex irritability, and color. Which caves, located near Wells in Somerset, are designated as a Site of Special Scientific Interest, SSSI. Wookey Hole. Wookey Hole caves are a series of limestone caverns and a show cave in the Mendup Hills, Somerset. The SSSI designation reflects their geological, archaeological, and biological importance. In the context of woodwork, what are butt, dovetail, and mitre? Joints. Butt, dovetail, and mitre are types of joints used in woodworking to connect two or more pieces of wood. Each joint has different characteristics in terms of strength and aesthetic appeal. Which automobile manufacturer has produced the Taunus, Laser, and Thunderbird models? Ford. Ford Motor Company is a multinational automaker that has produced a diverse range of models over its history. The Taunus was a European Ford model, the Laser was sold in Asia Pacific, and the Thunderbird was a North American personal luxury car. What is the most common bird in Britain? The wren. The wren is the most common bird in Britain, recognized for its small size and distinctive song. Its widespread presence highlights its adaptability to various habitats across the British Isles. On which island was the now extinct elephant bird found? Madagascar. The elephant bird, a now extinct group of flightless birds, was endemic to the island of Madagascar. These birds were among the largest avian species to have ever existed. For which order of birds is a pandemonium the collective noun? Parrots. A pandemonium is the collective noun used to describe a group of parrots. Parrots are known for their vibrant plumage, intelligence, and often raucous vocalizations. Which bird has the Latin name *puffinus puffinus? Manx shearwater. *puffinus puffinus is the scientific name for the Manx shearwater, a seabird known for its long migratory journeys across the Atlantic Ocean. This taxonomic classification is universally recognized by biologists and ornithologists. Which battle is commonly referred to as Custer's Last Stand? Little Bighorn. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, fought in 1876, was a significant armed engagement between the Lakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes against the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry Regiment, resulting in a major victory for the Native American forces. What is the last book of the Old Testament? Malachi. Malachi is the final book of the Old Testament in the Christian biblical canon, traditionally attributed to the prophet Malachi. It focuses on themes of social justice, religious reform, and the coming day of the Lord. Who wrote the book Last of the Mohicans? James Fenimore Cooper. James Fenimore Cooper's The Last of the Mohicans, published in 1826, is a historical novel set during the French and Indian War. It explores themes of wilderness, civilization, and the interactions between European settlers and Native American tribes. What was the mission number of the final Apollo lunar landing? 17. Apollo 17, launched in December 1972, was the sixth and last crewed mission to land on the Moon. It marked the end of the Apollo program's lunar exploration. In which continent is the bird-eating spider, recognized as the world's largest spider, found? South America. The Goliath bird-eater, Theraphosa blondi, found in South America, holds the title of the world's largest spider by mass and size. Its habitat is primarily in the northern Amazon rainforest regions. Who is recognized as the originator of organized package holidays? Thomas Cook. Thomas Cook, a British businessman, is credited with organizing the first package tour in 1841, laying the foundation for modern mass tourism. Strawberry tongue is a characteristic symptom of which disease? Scarlet fever. Strawberry tongue, characterized by a red and bumpy tongue, is a classic symptom of scarlet fever, a bacterial illness caused by Streptococcus bacteria that also causes a rash. Which Greek hero embarked on a quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece? Jason. Jason, the leader of the Argonauts, undertook a perilous journey to Colchis to obtain the Golden Fleece. This legendary artifact played a significant role in Greek mythology and literature. Which deity did the ancient Egyptians believe protected the souls of the deceased? Anubis. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Anubis was the god associated with mummification and the afterlife. He played a critical role in weighing the hearts of the deceased to determine their worthiness to enter the realm of the dead. Who was the Roman deity associated with doorways, gates, and passageways? Janus. In Roman mythology, Janus was the god of beginnings, transitions, and endings, as well as doorways and gates. He is typically depicted with two faces, looking both to the past and the future. According to Roman legend, which animals are credited with saving Rome from a surprise attack by raising an alarm? Geese. According to Roman legend, the sacred geese of Juno at the temple of Juno Moneta on Capitoline Hill warned the Roman garrison of an impending attack by the Gauls in 390 BC. This event solidified the association of geese with vigilance and protection in Roman culture. Who is the author of the novel, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man? James Joyce. James Joyce's A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, published in 1916, is a semi-autobiographical novel that explores the intellectual and spiritual development of Stephen Dedalus. It is a key example of modernist literature, employing stream of consciousness techniques. In which U.S. state is the Painted Desert located? Arizona. The Painted Desert is a geological formation in northern Arizona characterized by its colorful, layered rocks. Its vibrant hues are due to different minerals in the sandstone, shale, and mudstone. Who is the author of the novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray? Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, an Irish playwright, novelist, and poet, wrote The Picture of Dorian Gray in 1890. The novel is a philosophical reflection on aestheticism and morality. What type of creature is a painted lady? Butterfly. The painted lady, Vanessa Cardway, is a widely distributed butterfly species. It is known for its migratory behavior and distinctive orange and black wing patterns. By what other name is the flying fox known? The fruit bat. Flying foxes, also known as fruit bats, are large megabats belonging to the Pteropodidae family. They are primarily frugivorous and play a crucial role in seed dispersal and pollination in tropical ecosystems. From what material is the Taj Mahal constructed? White marble. The Taj Mahal, commissioned by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in the 17th century, is constructed primarily of white marble. This marble was sourced from Makrana, Rajasthan, and contributes to the monument's iconic appearance. Which region of the Earth's stratosphere traps most of the sun's UV radiation? The ozone layer. The ozone layer, located in the stratosphere, is crucial for absorbing harmful ultraviolet, UV, radiation from the sun. This absorption protects life on Earth from the damaging effects of UV radiation, such as skin cancer and genetic mutations. Who succeeded Mervyn King as Governor of the Bank of England in 2013? Mark Carney. Mark Carney served as the Governor of the Bank of England from 2013 to 2020, succeeding Mervyn King. The Governor of the Bank of England is responsible for overseeing the UK's monetary policy and financial stability. In what type of building was Martin Luther King Jr. standing on the balcony when he was assassinated in 1968? A motel. Martin Luther King Jr., a prominent leader in the civil rights movement, was assassinated on April 4, 1968, while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. His assassination marked a turning point in the civil rights movement. Name the ancient Greek muse of dance. Terpsichore. In Greek mythology, Terpsichore is one of the 9 muses, specifically the muse of dance and choral song. The muses were the daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne, and each presided over a different art or science. Who was the oldest man mentioned in the Old Testament? Methuselah. Methuselah is known for his exceptionally long lifespan, as recorded in the book of Genesis. According to the Old Testament, he lived for 969 years, making him the oldest person mentioned in the Bible. What is the chemical symbol for gold? O. Gold's chemical symbol, O, is derived from the Latin word, aurum, meaning gold. Gold is a highly valued precious metal due to its rarity, resistance to corrosion, and unique properties. Who or what was Humpty Dumpty? A cannon or field gun used in the siege of Colchester during the English Civil War. Humpty Dumpty was not originally an egg. The term referred to a cannon used by the Royalist forces during the siege of Colchester in 1648 during the English Civil War. What is the speed of light, in miles per second? 186,000. The speed of light in a vacuum is approximately 186,000 miles per second. This constant, often denoted as c, plays a fundamental role in physics, especially in the theory of relativity. In what year were women in the UK first allowed to vote in local authority elections? 1869 Municipal Franchise Act. The Municipal Franchise Act of 1869 granted women in the United Kingdom the right to vote in local council elections, a significant step towards women's suffrage. In science fiction, who formulated the 3 laws of robotics? Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov formulated the 3 laws of robotics, which are a set of rules designed to govern the behavior of robots in his science fiction stories. These laws have become a cornerstone of robotics ethics discussions. What is the name of the highest mountain in Great Britain? Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis is the highest mountain in the British Isles, located in the Scottish Highlands. It attracts climbers and hikers from around the world. What is the chemical symbol for silver? Ag. The chemical symbol for silver is Ag, derived from the Latin word, argentum, which also means silver. Silver is a precious metal valued for its conductivity, malleability, and use in jewelry and electronics. From which plant do we derive the drug digitalis? Foxglove. Digitalis, a drug used to treat heart conditions, is derived from the foxglove plant, Digitalis purpurea. The plant contains cardiac glycosides that can strengthen heart contractions but are also highly toxic. What were the names of the 3 Bronte sisters? Annie, Charlotte, and Emily. The Bronte sisters were English novelists and poets who wrote under male pseudonyms. Their novels are considered classics of English literature, including Jane Eyre, Charlotte, Wuthering Heights, Emily, and Agnes Grey, Annie. Upon which island does the geographical area known as Captain Cook, renowned for its coffee cultivation, reside? Hawaii. Captain Cook is a district on the island of Hawaii, known for its coffee plantations. The region's volcanic soil and favorable climate contribute to the unique flavor profile of the coffee grown there. What is the duration of time required for light to travel from the sun to Earth? 8 minutes and 20 seconds. The sun's light reaches Earth in approximately 8 minutes and 20 seconds. This delay is due to the finite speed of light, which is a fundamental constant in physics and has significant implications for astronomical observations and calculations. What speed in miles per hour must a rocket attain to escape Earth's gravity? 18,000 miles per hour. The speed required for a rocket to escape Earth's gravity is approximately 18,000 miles per hour, also known as escape velocity. This velocity allows the rocket to overcome Earth's gravitational pull and travel into space. On average, whose hearts beat faster, men or women? Women. On average, women's hearts beat faster than men's hearts. This is due to a variety of factors, including hormonal differences and typically smaller heart size in women. What is the second book of the Bible? Exodus. Exodus is the second book of the Old Testament, following Genesis. It details the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt, led by Moses, and their journey to Mount Sinai where they received the Ten Commandments, central to Judeo-Christian law and ethics. Who was the second president of the USA? John Adams. John Adams served as the second president of the United States from 1797 to 1801. A founding father and key figure in the American Revolution, his presidency was marked by challenges including the Quasi-War with France and the controversial Alien and Sedition Acts. What is the second planet from the Sun? Venus. Venus, often called Earth's sister planet, due to its similar size and density, is the second planet from the Sun. It has a dense, toxic atmosphere of carbon dioxide and is the hottest planet in our solar system due to the greenhouse effect. What is the second element in the periodic table? Helium. Helium, He, is the second element in the periodic table, following hydrogen. It's a noble gas, meaning it's chemically inert, and is known for its low density and use in balloons and as a cryogenic coolant. Who wrote the novel Dracula *, published in 1897? Abraham Bram Stoker. Bram Stoker's Dracula *, published in 1897, is a seminal work of Gothic horror literature. It popularized the vampire myth and established many of the tropes associated with vampires in modern fiction. On which historical figure was Count Dracula based? Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, also known as Vlad Tepes, the Impaler, or Vlad Dracul, the Dragon. Vlad III, Prince of Wallachia, 1431–1476–77, also known as Vlad the Impaler, is believed to be the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Count Dracula. His reputation for extreme cruelty and ruthless tactics during his rule contributed to the creation of the fictional vampire. Which Hungarian countess is reputed to have killed over 600 women in order to bathe in their blood? Countess Elizabeth Bathory. Countess Elizabeth Bathory, a 16th–17th century Hungarian noblewoman, is known as the Blood Countess, due to accusations that she tortured and killed hundreds of young women. While the historical accuracy of these claims is debated, they have cemented her place as a symbol of cruelty and a figure in vampire folklore. On average, who has the faster, sharpest reflexes? Women. Studies suggest that women generally exhibit faster reaction times than men. This difference is often attributed to hormonal and neurological variations between the sexes, impacting sensory processing and motor responses. On average, who lives longer in the UK? Women 81.5 years against 77.2 years for men. Globally, women tend to have a longer life expectancy than men, and the UK is no exception. Factors contributing to this include biological differences, lifestyle choices, and social determinants of health. In the UK, who pays more in income tax? Men. In year 2011-2012, men paid £68.2 billion more than women. The gender tax gap. Income tax contributions often vary by gender due to disparities in employment rates, income levels, and career paths. This difference can be influenced by factors such as occupational segregation and the gender pay gap. In the UK, are there more male or female registered voters? Female. More men actually turn out to vote. While there are more registered female voters in the UK, voter turnout can differ between genders in specific elections. Factors such as age, socioeconomic status, and political engagement can influence voting patterns. In the UK, are men or women statistically more likely to be victims of homicide? Men. Men are also statistically more likely to be perpetrators of homicide. This highlights important demographic trends in crime statistics. Understanding these trends is crucial for developing effective crime prevention strategies and resource allocation in law enforcement. In the UK, is there a higher prevalence of male or female millionaires? Male, by a factor of approximately 10:1. This statistic reflects wealth distribution patterns and gender disparities in economic attainment. Socioeconomic factors and historical trends contribute to these differences in wealth accumulation. What is the capital city of the Kingdom of the Netherlands? Amsterdam. Amsterdam serves as the constitutional capital of the Netherlands, although The Hague is the seat of government. It's a major economic and cultural center in Europe. Which river traditionally forms the border between England and Scotland? The River Tweed. The River Tweed is a 97-mile-long river that marks a significant portion of the border between England and Scotland. It is known for its salmon fishing. What is the official presidential anthem of the United States? Hail to the Chief. Hail to the Chief has been used as the official anthem for the President of the United States since the 1800s. It is typically played upon the President's arrival at events. To complain or find fault in a petty or disagreeable way, a peevish complaint. Carp. Carp refers to the act of complaining or finding fault in a trivial or irritating manner. Understanding synonyms and nuances of vocabulary is important for language comprehension and communication skills, which are useful across several professional domains. Chemical element with atomic number 79 and the symbol O. Gold. Gold, O, is a highly valued precious metal due to its rarity, inertness, and malleability. Its atomic number of 79 signifies that a gold atom contains 79 protons in its nucleus. Who was the first woman in space? Valentina Tereshkova. Valentina Tereshkova, a Soviet cosmonaut, became the first woman in space on June 16, 1963, aboard Vostok 6. Her pioneering flight marked a significant milestone in the space race and gender equality in space exploration. Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize? Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a pioneering physicist and chemist who conducted groundbreaking research on radioactivity. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, Physics, in 1903, and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, chemistry in 1911. Which country was the first to grant all adult women the right to vote for its parliament? New Zealand in 1893. New Zealand was the first self-governing nation to grant universal suffrage to women in 1893. This landmark decision positioned New Zealand as a leader in women's rights and democratic reform. In what year were women in the United Kingdom first granted the right to vote in local council or local authority elections? 1869 Municipal Franchise Act. The Municipal Franchise Act of 1869 granted women ratepayers in England and Wales the right to vote in local elections. This marked a significant early step towards women's suffrage in the UK. According to Dante Alighieri's Inferno *, for whom were the torments of the sixth circle of hell reserved? Heretics. In Dante's Inferno *, the sixth circle of hell is reserved for heretics, those who denied the immortality of the soul and other fundamental religious doctrines. This placement reflects the severity with which heresy was viewed in Dante's time. What is the sixth commandment in the traditional enumeration of the 10 Commandments? Thou shalt not kill. The sixth commandment, thou shalt not kill, is a fundamental moral imperative found in the Hebrew Bible, specifically in the books of Exodus and Deuteronomy. It forms a cornerstone of ethical and legal systems in many cultures, emphasizing the sanctity of human life. What significant historical event occurred on June 6, 1944? D-Day, the Normandy invasion, the invasion of Western Europe. D-Day, the Normandy invasion, took place on June 6, 1944. It marked the Allied invasion of Nazi-occupied France during World War II, and it was a crucial turning point in the war, ultimately leading to the liberation of Western Europe. What rights are protected by the Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution? Legal rights of individuals facing prosecution, including the right to a trial by an impartial jury, a speedy trial, legal representation, and the ability to confront witnesses. The Sixth Amendment to the United States Constitution guarantees several fundamental rights to individuals accused of crimes. These rights aim to ensure fairness and due process in the legal system. Which planet is sixth in order from the Sun in our solar system? Saturn. Saturn, easily recognizable by its prominent ring system, is the sixth planet from the Sun. It is a gas giant primarily composed of hydrogen and helium. What is the name of the visitor attraction located in Bodelwa, Cornwall, where biodomes house plant species from around the world? The Eden Project. The Eden Project is a complex of geodesic domes housing a diverse collection of plants, promoting environmental education and conservation. It opened in 2000 and has become a major tourist destination. What was the name of the Zimbabwean capital, Harare, prior to 1982? Salisbury. Harare, the capital of Zimbabwe, was known as Salisbury during the colonial period when it was the capital of southern Rhodesia. The name was changed to Harare in 1982, 2 years after Zimbabwe gained independence. What was the real name of author George Orwell? Eric Arthur Blair. George Orwell, the author of seminal works such as 1984 and Animal Farm, was born Eric Arthur Blair. He adopted the pen name George Orwell to distance himself from his family and present a distinct authorial persona. Where did the Great Fire of London start and end? Pudding Lane and Pie Corner. The Great Fire of London, which ravaged the city in 1666, began at a baker's shop on Pudding Lane. The fire ultimately ended at Pie Corner, with a monument erected to commemorate the cessation of the blaze. What is the only London station to span the Thames, with entrances on both sides of the river? Blackfriars. Blackfriars Railway Bridge supports the Blackfriars Station, uniquely spanning the River Thames. It features station entrances on both the north and south banks of the river. Which city connects the headquarters of OPEC, the burial place of Beethoven, and Rigsby's cat in Rising Damp? Vienna. Vienna serves as the headquarters for OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, and is also the final resting place of the renowned composer Ludwig van Beethoven. It connects geographically to the fictional locale involving Rising Damp. What is the numerical sum obtained by aggregating all the numbers present on a standard roulette wheel? 666. The sum of the numbers on a roulette wheel, 1 to 36, is 666, sometimes referred to as the number of the beast. This numerical curiosity has led to various interpretations and associations in popular culture. Following its selection to host the 2022 Winter Games, which city will become the first to have hosted both the Summer and Winter Olympic Games? Beijing. Beijing is the first city to host both the Summer Olympics, 2008, and Winter Olympics, 2022. This achievement underscores China's growing influence in the global sporting arena and its capacity to organize large-scale international events. Which company was founded in a draper's shop in Glasgow in 1849? House of Fraser. House of Fraser, a British department store group, was indeed founded in 1849. Its origin as a draper's shop highlights the historical development of retail businesses. What former monetary unit was equal to a quarter of an old penny? Farthing. The farthing was a British coin worth 1/4 of a penny, used from the 13th century until 1960. It represents a historical aspect of the British monetary system. What is the highest mountain in England? Scafell Pike. Scafell Pike is the highest mountain in England, located in the Lake District National Park. Its summit reaches an elevation of 978 meters, 3,209 feet, above sea level. During the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, 12 individuals served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. How many of these Prime Ministers were members of the Conservative Party? 8. Queen Elizabeth II reigned from 1952 to 2022, during which time several prime ministers from both the Conservative and Labour parties held office. Understanding the shifts in political power is crucial for analysing British history during this period. How many of Henry VIII's 6 wives had been previously married? 2. Catherine of Aragon to his brother Arthur, and Catherine Parr. Henry VIII's marital history is a significant aspect of Tudor history, impacting religious and political events. Catherine of Aragon was previously married to Henry's brother Arthur, and Catherine Parr had been married twice before marrying Henry VIII. Who won 4 gold medals in the 1984 Summer Olympics? Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis, an American track and field athlete, achieved remarkable success at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics. His 4 gold medals were in the 100 meters, 200 meters, 4x100 meters relay, and long jump, equaling Jesse Owens's feat in 1936. Which book, published in 1988 and winner of the Whitbread Award, was the center of a major international controversy? The Satanic Verses. Published in 1988, The Satanic Verses * by Salman Rushdie, sparked intense controversy due to its perceived blasphemous content by some Muslims. The controversy led to protests, book burnings, and a fatwa calling for Rushdie's assassination. Where did the OCs and the Wesses meet for the first time in 28 years, in 1989? The Berlin Wall. The fall of the Berlin Wall in November 1989 marked a pivotal moment in German history, as it symbolized the end of the Cold War division between East, OCs, and West, Wesses, Germany. This event facilitated the first meeting of East and West Germans in 28 years and paved the way for German reunification. Charlotte, Desiree, and Rooster are varieties of which vegetable? Potato. Potatoes are a globally significant food crop, with numerous varieties cultivated for different culinary purposes. Understanding common varieties can be useful in agricultural and culinary contexts. What rebellious event was organized in 1773 by the Sons of Liberty as a protest against taxation without representation? Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party was a pivotal event in the lead-up to the American Revolution. It protested the British Parliament's Tea Act and the principle of taxation without colonial representation. Kopi Luwak, produced mainly in Indonesia, and a waste product of the civet, is the most expensive variety of what? Coffee. Kopi Luwak is a unique and expensive coffee variety produced using civets. The civets ingest coffee cherries and the partially digested beans are then collected and processed. Which British mathematician is credited with creating a basic computer design in 1835? Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage, an English mathematician, is considered the father of the computer. He designed the analytical engine in the 1830s, a mechanical general-purpose computer that served as a conceptual precursor to modern electronic computers. Of what subject is selenology the scientific study? The Moon. Selenology is the branch of astronomy dedicated to studying the physical features and origin of the Moon. This includes its surface, composition, and geological history. Which is the oldest operating theatre in London? The Theatre Royal, Drury Lane. The Theatre Royal, Drury Lane, has a rich history dating back to 1663, making it the oldest continuously operating theatre in London. It has undergone several reconstructions and renovations but remains a significant landmark in British theatre history. What agricultural product is processed in a ginnery? Cotton. A ginnery, or cotton gin, is a machine and facility used to separate cotton fibers from their seeds. This process is a crucial step in preparing cotton for textile production. Which English queen bore 17 children, all of whom predeceased her? Queen Anne. Queen Anne reigned from 1702 to 1714. Despite numerous pregnancies, none of her children survived to adulthood, contributing to the succession crisis that followed her death. What was the profession of Giacomo Casanova? Librarian. Giacomo Casanova, 1725 to 1798, is famous for his memoirs detailing his life as an adventurer and libertine, but he also worked as a librarian in his later years. What name was given to privateers, authorized to conduct raids on shipping of a nation at war with France, on behalf of the French crown? Corsairs. Corsairs were privateers commissioned by the French crown to conduct raids on enemy shipping. This practice was prevalent during times of war, providing France with an additional naval force. Charles-Édouard Jeanneret-Gris was better known as who? Le Corbusier. Charles-Édouard Jeanneret-Gris, known as Le Corbusier, was a Swiss-French architect, designer, painter, urban planner, writer, and one of the pioneers of what is now called modern architecture. Which British aircraft manufacturer produced the Spitfire? Supermarine. The Supermarine Spitfire was a British single-seat fighter aircraft used by the Royal Air Force and other allied countries before, during, and after World War II. It was designed by R.J. Mitchell at Supermarine Aviation Works. Who said when a man is tired of London, he is tired of life? Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson, often referred to as Dr. Johnson, was an English writer, poet, moralist, literary critic, biographer, editor, and lexicographer. This quote reflects his deep appreciation for the vibrant and diverse nature of London life. What was Marble Arch in London originally designed to be? The entrance to Buckingham Palace. Marble Arch was originally designed by John Nash in 1827 as a state entrance to Buckingham Palace. It was moved to its current location at Cumberland Gate in 1851. Who resides in Mansion House? The Lord Mayor of London. Mansion House has been the official residence of the Lord Mayor of London since the 18th century. The Lord Mayor is the head of the City of London Corporation. Canary Wharf is in what London borough? Tower Hamlets. Canary Wharf is a major business district located in the London borough of Tower Hamlets. It's known for its modern skyscrapers and financial institutions. Statues of which political leaders stand in Tavistock Square and Parliament Square? Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of the Indian independence movement, is commemorated with statues in both Tavistock Square and Parliament Square in London, reflecting his global influence and legacy of nonviolent resistance. What is the name of London's largest underground river? Fleet. The River Fleet is London's largest subterranean river. It now flows entirely underground and empties into the River Thames. Which sea has no coast? The Sargasso Sea. The Sargasso Sea is unique as it is defined by ocean currents rather than land boundaries. It is located entirely within the Atlantic Ocean. Which royal dynasty followed the Normans? Plantagenet. The Plantagenet dynasty succeeded the Norman dynasty in England, beginning with Henry II in 1154. Their rule marked a significant period of English history, lasting over 300 years. Which confectionery company was founded in 1920 by Hans Riegel of Bonn, Germany? Haribo. Haribo was founded in 1920 in Bonn, Germany, by Hans Riegel. The name, Haribo, is an acronym derived from Hans Riegel, Bonn. Which poet was interred in Westminster Abbey in an upright position? Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson, a prominent English playwright and poet of the 17th century, was buried in Westminster Abbey. His burial in an upright position is a notable historical anecdote. Who fired the crossbow that resulted in the death of King Richard I of England? Pierre Basile. Richard I, also known as Richard the Lionheart, died in 1199 from a wound inflicted by a crossbow bolt fired by Pierre Basile during a siege. This event is a key moment in medieval European history. Which two states in the United States of America are geometrically rectangular in shape? Colorado and Wyoming. Colorado and Wyoming are notable for their nearly perfect rectangular shapes. This is due to their boundaries being defined primarily by lines of latitude and longitude, resulting in distinct geometric forms. What is the longest river in the United States of America? Missouri River. The Missouri River, extending approximately 2,341 miles, is recognized as the longest river in the United States. It plays a vital role in the country's ecosystem and history, especially in transportation and agriculture. Which US state was purchased from Russia in 1867 for $7.2 million United States dollars? Alaska. Alaska was purchased from Russia in 1867 for $7.2 million, a deal brokered by Secretary of State William Seward. This acquisition significantly expanded U.S. territory and access to natural resources. What are the two legislative bodies that constitute the Congress of the United States? The Senate and the House of Representatives. The United States Congress is a bicameral legislature consisting of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Each body plays a unique role in the legislative process, reflecting the balance of power between states and the population. Who was the last British monarch to reign over the 13 colonies that became the United States of America? King George III. King George III was the British monarch during the American Revolution. His policies and actions contributed to the growing discontent among the colonists, eventually leading to the Declaration of Independence and the formation of the United States. Which film holds the record for using the highest number of extras? Gandhi. The film Gandhi *, released in 1982, holds the record for using the highest number of extras. Richard Attenborough directed the biographical drama based on the life of Mahatma Gandhi, the leader of India's non-violent independence movement. What notable first did Sue Brown achieve in 1981? First woman to feature in the Oxford, Cambridge boat race. Sue Brown's participation in the 1981 Oxford, Cambridge boat race marked a significant milestone for women in sports. This event paved the way for greater gender equality in traditionally male-dominated athletic competitions. In which U.S. state is the Ivy League Brown University located? Providence, Rhode Island. Brown University, established in 1764, is a prestigious Ivy League institution. Its location in Providence, Rhode Island contributes to the city's academic and cultural landscape. Who achieved a first at Oldham General Hospital on July 25, 1978? Louise Joy Brown, first IVF baby. Louise Joy Brown was the first human to be born through in vitro fertilization, IVF, on July 25, 1978. Her birth revolutionized reproductive medicine and provided hope for individuals struggling with infertility.
Which American-born Sinclair won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1930? Sinclair Lewis.
Sinclair Lewis was the first writer from the United States to be awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature. He was recognized for his vigorous and graphic art of description and his ability to create, with wit and humor, new types of characters.
In which decade did Billboard magazine first publish an American hit chart? 30s.
Billboard magazine first published a music hit chart in the 1930s, specifically in 1936. This marked the beginning of standardized tracking and ranking of popular songs in the United States.
From which country did Angola achieve independence in 1975? Portugal.
Angola gained its independence from Portugal on November 11, 1975, after a long period of colonial rule and a protracted war for independence. This event marked a significant shift in the political landscape of southern Africa. While Syracuse is a city in New York, where else does it exist in Europe? Sicily. Syracuse is a historic city located on the island of Sicily, Italy. It was an important Greek colony and is known for its ancient ruins and archaeological sites. Sullamvo is renowned for exporting which commodity? Oil. Sullamvo is a large oil terminal located in the Shetland Islands, Scotland. It is one of the largest oil terminals in Europe and plays a significant role in the export of North Sea oil. In which European city is the Atomium located? Brussels. The Atomium is a landmark building in Brussels, Belgium. It was constructed for the 1958 Brussels World's Fair and represents an iron crystal magnified 165 billion times. Which tourist islands are better known as Majorca and Menorca? Balearics. The Balearic Islands are an archipelago in the western Mediterranean Sea, near the eastern coast of Spain. The four largest islands are Majorca, Menorca, Ibiza, and Formentera. They are a popular tourist destination. Which country is located to the north of Austria and to the south of Poland? Czech Republic. The Czech Republic is a landlocked country in Central Europe. It is bordered by Germany to the west, Poland to the northeast, Slovakia to the southeast, and Austria to the south. Its capital is Prague. Which European country was the first in the 20th century to grant women the right to vote? Finland. Finland was the first European country to grant women universal suffrage in 1906. This progressive step positioned Finland as a leader in women's rights and political equality. Where is the Optimistiskaya cave, the second longest cave in the world, located? Ukraine. The Optimistiskaya cave, a gypsum cave, is located in Ukraine. Its extensive labyrinthine structure makes it the second longest known cave system in the world, showcasing unique geological formations. What is Europe's second largest city by population? London. London, the capital of England and the United Kingdom, boasts a significant population, making it the second largest city in Europe. As a global hub for culture, finance, and politics, London plays a vital role on the international stage. How many independent Baltic states are there? 3. The Baltic states refer to the three countries of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, located on the eastern coast of the Baltic Sea. These countries share historical ties and cultural similarities and gained independence following the dissolution of the Soviet Union. Which is farther north, Hungary or Bulgaria? Hungary. Hungary is located further north than Bulgaria in Central Europe. Hungary is landlocked, while Bulgaria has a coastline on the Black Sea. What is the longest river in Ireland and its greatest source of electric power? Shannon. The River Shannon is the longest river in Ireland, playing a vital role in the country's geography and economy. It is also a significant source of hydroelectric power. Through how many countries does the river Danube flow? 7. The Danube River is a major European waterway, traversing through multiple countries. Its extensive reach makes it crucial for trade, transportation, and regional geopolitics. In which country is the stotenki the local currency? Bulgaria. The stotenki is a subunit of the Bulgarian lev, the currency of Bulgaria. Knowledge of currency is relevant for economic and geopolitical awareness. Which European country experienced one of the most significant avalanches of the 20th century in December 1916? Italy. The avalanche in Italy during December 1916 was a major natural disaster. This highlights the country's vulnerability to specific geographical hazards and historical disaster events. The Simplon Tunnel connects Italy with which country? Switzerland. The Simplon Tunnel is a railway tunnel connecting Italy and Switzerland, facilitating trade and transportation between the two countries. It is an important piece of infrastructure in the Alpine region. On which sea does Croatia have a coastline? Adriatic. Croatia's coastline lies along the Adriatic Sea, a branch of the Mediterranean Sea. This geographical location is critical to Croatia's economy, history, and cultural identity. What is the longest river in Portugal, and the fifth longest in Europe? Tagus. The Tagus River is the longest river in Portugal and a major river in the Iberian Peninsula. Its length and location make it significant for both Portugal and Spain. Which major event was covered by war correspondent Martha Gellhorn? D-Day landings. Martha Gellhorn was a pioneering war correspondent who notably covered the D-Day landings in Normandy in 1944. Her work provided crucial on-the-ground reporting during a pivotal moment in World War II. Who first coined the term cybernetics? Norbert Wiener. Norbert Wiener, an American mathematician and philosopher, is credited with coining the term cybernetics in his 1948 book, Cybernetics, or Control and Communication in the Animal and the Machine. Cybernetics is the study of control and communication in both living organisms and machines. Who was the senior U.S. diplomat held in the U.S. Embassy in Tehran during the Iran hostage crisis? Bruce Langen. Bruce Langen was the charge d'affaires and the most senior American diplomat held hostage during the Iran hostage crisis, which lasted from 1979 to 1981. The crisis significantly impacted U.S.-Iran relations. Who was the first freely elected Marxist president in Latin America? Allende. Salvador Allende was the first Marxist to be elected president in a Latin American country through open elections. He served as the president of Chile from 1970 until his death in 1973. Which doctor from the Rockefeller Institute in New York discovered that cancer was caused by a virus? Dr. Francis Peyton Rouse. Dr. Francis Peyton Rouse discovered that a virus could cause cancer, specifically through his research on chicken sarcomas. His work, initially met with skepticism, eventually earned him the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1966. Who was the first American to win the Nobel Prize for Literature? Sinclair Lewis. Sinclair Lewis was the first American to be awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature, which he received in 1930. He was recognized for his vigorous and graphic art of description and his ability to create, with wit and humor, new types of characters. Who was the first black student at the University of Alabama? Autran Lucy. Autran Lucy was the first African American student to attend the University of Alabama, briefly enrolling in 1956. Her enrollment faced significant resistance and protests, highlighting the challenges of desegregation during the civil rights movement. Who invented the liquid fuel-powered rocket? Robert H. Goddard. Robert H. Goddard is credited with inventing the first liquid-fueled rocket, successfully launching it in 1926. His pioneering work laid the foundation for modern rocketry and space exploration. Who was William Taft's vice president between 1909 and 1912? James S. Sherman. James S. Sherman served as vice president under President William Howard Taft from 1909 until his death in 1912. Sherman's tenure coincided with significant political developments during the Progressive era. Who is credited with the quote, "How can you govern a country which produces 246 different kinds of cheese?" Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle, the former president of France, is often attributed this quote reflecting the perceived complexities of governing France, given its diverse culture and regional specialities. Who invented the Polaroid camera? Edwin Herbert Land. Edwin Herbert Land invented the Polaroid camera, a significant innovation in instant photography. He founded the Polaroid Corporation and made instant photography accessible to the public. Who were the first two men to drive on the moon? David Scott and James Irwin. David Scott and James Irwin were the first to drive on the moon during the Apollo 15 mission in 1971 using the Lunar Roving Vehicle. This allowed them to explore a larger area of the lunar surface than previous missions. Who completed the longest spaceflight by a woman in 1996? Shannon Lucid. Shannon Lucid, an American biochemist and NASA astronaut, completed the longest single spaceflight by a woman in 1996. She spent 188 days aboard the Mir space station, conducting various experiments. Who won the first of his Nobel Prizes in 1956 for research which led to the invention of the transistor? John Bardeen. John Bardeen was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1956, along with William Shockley and Walter Brattain, for their research on semiconductors and the discovery of the transistor effect. The transistor revolutionized electronics, enabling smaller and more efficient devices. Which electrical engineer invented the triode valve in 1907? Lee de Forest. Lee de Forest, an American inventor, patented the audiome, or triode vacuum tube, in 1907. This invention revolutionized radio communication and paved the way for modern electronics. Who performed the first artificial heart transplant? William de Vries. William de Vries performed the first artificial heart transplant on Barney Clark in 1982 at the University of Utah. The artificial heart, known as the JARVIK7, was a significant development in cardiac medicine, though its long-term success remained limited. Who designed the geodesic dome in the U.S. Pavilion at the 1967 Montreal's World's Fair exhibition? Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller, an American architect and inventor, designed the geodesic dome for the U.S. Pavilion at Expo 67 in Montreal. Geodesic domes are lightweight, strong structures composed of interconnected triangles, showcasing Fuller's innovative approach to design and engineering. Who founded the magazine Camera Work? Alfred Stieglitz. Alfred Stieglitz, an American photographer and art promoter, founded the magazine Camera Work in 1903. This publication played a crucial role in establishing photography as a legitimate art form and showcased the work of influential photographers. On which river was the Grand Coulee Dam constructed? Columbia River. The Grand Coulee Dam, a major hydroelectric dam, is located on the Columbia River in Washington state. It is a significant infrastructure project that provides power and irrigation to the region. Which company produced the first jumbo jet in 1969? Boeing. Boeing introduced the 747 in 1969, revolutionizing air travel with its large capacity and long range. This marked a significant advancement in commercial aviation. Where is Rockefeller University located in the United States? New York. Rockefeller University, a premier biomedical research university, is located in New York City. It has a long history of contributions to science and medicine, and its location is significant to its research and academic collaborations. What is Abyssinia currently known as? Ethiopia. Abyssinia is the former name of Ethiopia, an East African nation with a rich history and diverse culture. The name change reflects the country's evolution and independence. Cass Gilbert was a major developer of which type of building? Skyscraper. Cass Gilbert was a prominent architect known for designing skyscrapers, particularly in the early 20th century. His notable works include the Woolworth Building in New York City, a landmark skyscraper that significantly influenced urban architecture. Who became Speaker of the House of Representatives in 1995? Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich served as the 50th Speaker of the House of Representatives from 1995 to 1999. His tenure was marked by the contract with America and significant political battles with the Clinton administration. John Glenn served as a senator for which state? Ohio. John Glenn, in addition to being a pioneering astronaut, served as a Democratic senator for Ohio from 1974 to 1999. His senatorial career followed his historic spaceflight and demonstrated a commitment to public service. What are the international registration letters for vehicles from Mexico? MEX. International registration letters are used to identify the country of origin of a vehicle. The letters, MEX, are designated for vehicles registered in Mexico, following international standards for vehicle identification. Where in Libya did Australian troops seize a seaport from Italian occupation in 1941? Tobruk. The Siege of Tobruk was a prolonged conflict during the North African campaign of World War II. Australian forces played a crucial role in capturing the port city from Italian control in January 1941. Which mountain range stretches from West Virginia to Georgia? Blue Ridge Mountains. The Blue Ridge Mountains are a physiographic province of the larger Appalachian Mountains range. Known for their distinctive bluish haze when viewed from a distance, they are a significant feature of the eastern United States. According to Thomas Edison, what percentage of genius is inspiration? 1. Thomas Edison famously stated that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. This quote emphasizes the importance of hard work and effort in achieving success, even with innate talent. Which company produced the first Chinook helicopter in 1961? Boeing. Boeing produced the first CH-47 Chinook helicopter in 1961. The Chinook is a tandem rotor helicopter used for heavy lift transport and has been utilized extensively by military forces worldwide. What means of transport was developed by Igor Sikorsky? Helicopter. Igor Sikorsky, a pioneer in aviation, designed, built, and flew the first helicopter in the United States in 1939. His designs became the basis for modern helicopter technology. Who is the author of the novel, The Power and the Glory? Graham Greene. Graham Greene's The Power and the Glory, published in 1940, explores themes of faith, persecution, and moral complexity in Mexico during a period of religious suppression. The novel is considered one of Greene's major works. By what name was the German terrorist group, the Red Army faction, more commonly known? Baader-Meinhof Gang. The Red Army faction, also known as the Baader-Meinhof Gang, was a West German far-left militant organization active from the 1970s to 1998. They engaged in a series of bombings, assassinations, kidnappings, and bank robberies. Which sovereign entity utilizes the International Registration Letter, V, on its vehicles? Vatican City. Vatican City, an independent city-state within Rome, Italy, uses the International Registration Letter, V, to identify vehicles registered within its jurisdiction, reflecting its status as a distinct sovereign entity. On a monopoly board, what type of properties are B&O, Reading, Short Line, and Pennsylvania? Railroad stations. In the game of Monopoly, B&O, Reading, Short Line, and Pennsylvania are all railroad properties. Acquiring all the railroad properties grants the owner increased rental income when other players land on them. Which Scottish border town was the site of the jumbo jet disaster? Lockerbie. The Lockerbie bombing, also known as the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing, occurred on December 21, 1988, when a Boeing 747 was destroyed by a bomb over Lockerbie, Scotland. This terrorist act had significant international repercussions. In which country was Solidarity, the mass movement of the people, formed? Poland. Solidarity, Solidarność, was a Polish trade union and civil resistance movement that played a significant role in the fall of communism in Poland and Eastern Europe. It was founded in 1980 and led by Lech Walesa. What was the name of the world's first reusable spacecraft? Space Shuttle. The Space Shuttle program, officially known as the Space Transportation System, STS, was a U.S. human spaceflight program that operated from 1981 to 2011. It was the first spacecraft capable of both launching into orbit and returning to Earth for reuse. In which war was cowboy star Tom Mix shot in the mouth? Spanish-American War. The Spanish-American War was a conflict between Spain and the United States in 1898, resulting in Spain's loss of its remaining overseas colonies, including Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. How many years did the Holocaust last? 12. The Holocaust, the genocide of European Jews and other groups by Nazi Germany, lasted approximately 12 years, from 1933 when Adolf Hitler came to power, to 1945 when World War II ended. Who succeeded Erich Honecker as head of state of the German Democratic Republic? Egon Krenz. Egon Krenz replaced Erich Honecker as the leader of the GDR in 1989, shortly before the fall of the Berlin Wall. This transition marked a significant turning point in East German history, ultimately leading to German reunification. What is the meaning of the Palestinian term, intifada? Resurgence, throwing off. The term, intifada, refers to a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation. It signifies a period of resistance and struggle for self-determination. Which United States president is associated with the Star Wars policy? Reagan. President Ronald Reagan is linked to the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, popularly known as Star Wars. This proposed missile defense system aimed to protect the US from nuclear attacks during the Cold War. In what location in Ukraine did a nuclear explosion occur in 1986? Chernobyl. The Chernobyl disaster occurred in 1986 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union. This catastrophic event is considered one of the worst nuclear accidents in history, releasing large amounts of radioactive materials into the environment. Of which nation was Anwar Sadat the president at the time of his death in 1981? Egypt. Anwar Sadat served as the president of Egypt from 1970 until his assassination in 1981. He is best known for signing the Camp David Accords in 1978, a peace treaty with Israel, which earned him the Nobel Peace Prize. Which leader of the 1980s had a wife named Raisa? Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev, the leader of the Soviet Union during the 1980s, was married to Raisa Gorbacheva. She was a prominent figure and often credited with humanizing the Soviet leadership. In which month of 1990 did Iraq invade Kuwait? August. Iraq invaded Kuwait in August 1990, leading to the Persian Gulf War. This invasion was a significant event that resulted in international intervention and a major shift in the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. Who was the founder of Japan's first political party? Taisuke Itagaki. Taisuke Itagaki founded Japan's first political party, the Liberal Party, in 1881. His advocacy for democratic reforms significantly influenced Japan's political landscape during the Meiji era. In what months of 1945 did the Battle of Iwo Jima take place? February and March. The Battle of Iwo Jima, a major World War II engagement, occurred in February and March of 1945. This battle was a critical part of the Pacific Theater, known for its intense fighting and strategic importance for Allied forces. Which city was devastated by an earthquake in 1985 and then hosted the World Cup in 1986? Mexico City. Mexico City experienced a devastating earthquake in 1985. Despite the extensive damage, the city successfully hosted the FIFA World Cup in 1986, demonstrating resilience and organizational capability. Hahnium was so named by US scientists in honor of Otto Hahn. What was its original name? Unnilpentium. Hahnium, later named dubnium, D-flat, was initially called unnilpentium, a systematic element name. This nomenclature reflects the element's atomic number, 105, before its official naming by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC. Which movement was thought to be responsible for the kidnapping of Western hostages in Lebanon in the 1980s? Hezbollah. Hezbollah, a Lebanese Shia Islamist political party and militant group, was widely believed to be responsible for the kidnapping of Western hostages in Lebanon during the 1980s. This period was marked by significant political instability and conflict in the region. Who was Franklin D. Roosevelt's Secretary of State from 1933 to 1944? Cordell Hull. Cordell Hull served as Franklin D. Roosevelt's Secretary of State from 1933 to 1944. He played a crucial role in shaping U.S. foreign policy during the Great Depression and World War II, and he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1945 for his work in establishing the United Nations. The increasing scarcity of elephants and rhinos led to a 1989 ban on which substance? Ivory. The increasing threat to elephant and rhino populations due to poaching for their ivory led to a global ban on the trade of ivory in 1989. This ban was implemented under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES, to protect these endangered species. In which country did the Tiananmen Square protests occur? China. The Tiananmen Square protests, also known as the June 4 incident, were student-led demonstrations in Beijing in 1989, resulting in a violent crackdown by the Chinese government. The event remains a sensitive topic and is heavily censored in China. How long did Pedro Lascurain serve as President of Mexico after being elected in 1913? 1 hour. Pedro Lascurain served as President of Mexico for approximately 1 hour in 1913. This occurred during a period of political instability following the coup led by Victoriano Huerta against President Francisco I. Madero, who held the position of Supreme Allied Commander Europe, SACEUR, for NATO from 1974 to 1979. Alexander Haig. Alexander Haig served as the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, SACEUR, for NATO from 1974 to 1979. This position is responsible for the overall command of NATO military operations in Europe. In which valley is the city of San Jose, California located? Santa Clara. San Jose, California, is located in the Santa Clara Valley, a major technology hub also known as Silicon Valley. The valley's climate and fertile soil contributed to its early agricultural success, which later transitioned to technological innovation. At which Chicago theater did a fire in 1903 result in over 500 fatalities? Iroquois Theater. The Iroquois Theater fire occurred in Chicago in 1903, resulting in the deaths of over 600 people. The tragedy led to significant reforms in theater safety regulations across the United States. Which couple were implicated in the Whitewater affair? The Clintons. The Whitewater controversy was a real estate investment scandal involving Bill and Hillary Clinton and their associates in the Whitewater Development Corporation during the 1970s and 1980s. The investigation into the matter continued throughout the Clinton presidency. Whom did James Earl Ray assassinate in Memphis in April 1968? Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr., a prominent leader in the civil rights movement, was assassinated on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, by James Earl Ray. His assassination was a pivotal moment in the civil rights era. Who was the first president of the first university for black people in the USA? Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington was the first president of Tuskegee University, founded in 1881 in Alabama. The university played a key role in advancing the education and training of African Americans during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Who was the first African American to win the Nobel Peace Prize? Ralph Bunche. Ralph Bunche received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1950 for his role in mediating the 1948 Arab-Israeli conflict. His work as a diplomat and scholar exemplified his commitment to international peace and human rights. Where was the first nuclear reactor built by Enrico Fermi? Chicago. The first self-sustaining nuclear reactor, Chicago Pile 1, was built under the direction of Enrico Fermi at the University of Chicago in 1942. This achievement was a critical step in the development of nuclear technology during World War II. Which state on the Gulf of Mexico has the longest name? Mississippi. Mississippi, derived from the Mississippi River, is the state with the longest name bordering the Gulf of Mexico. The name originates from the Ajib word, Mississippi, meaning Great River. In which American city was the Rotary Club founded in 1905? Chicago. The Rotary Club, a global service organization, was founded in Chicago in 1905 by Paul Harris. Its mission is to provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through fellowship of business, professional, and community leaders. Where is the headquarters of Chrysler and General Motors located? Detroit. Detroit, Michigan, is known as the Motor City due to its historical importance as the center of the American automotive industry. Chrysler, now Stellantis North America, and General Motors have their headquarters in the Detroit metropolitan area. On which river is the highest concrete dam in the USA located? Colorado. The Hoover Dam, located on the Colorado River, is a significant engineering feat and a major source of hydroelectric power. Its construction and impact on the river's ecosystem are important geographical and environmental study topics. What is the approximate surface area, in square miles, of Lake Superior? 31,700. Lake Superior is one of the largest freshwater lakes in the world by surface area. Its vast size influences regional climate and supports a diverse ecosystem, making it a key feature in North American geography. What is the meaning of the name of Hawaii's capital city, Honolulu, in the Hawaiian language? Sheltered Bay. Honolulu's name reflects its geographical significance as a natural harbor and center of trade and culture in Hawaii. Understanding place names provides insight into the history and environment of a region. Near which town were there reports of a supposed spacecraft landing on July 4, 1947? Roswell, New Mexico. The Roswell incident is a significant event in popular culture and U.S. history, sparking considerable debate about the existence of extraterrestrial life. Between which two rivers is the city of Philadelphia situated? Delaware and Schuylkill. Philadelphia's location between the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers has historically been crucial for its development as a major port and industrial center. Riverine geography significantly shapes urban development and regional economies. In which city was the World's Fair held in 1903? St. Louis. The 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis showcased technological and cultural innovations of the time and also marked the centennial of the Louisiana Purchase. World's Fairs are historically significant events that provide insights into technological advancements and cultural exchange. For what offense was Al Capone ultimately convicted? Tax evasion. Alphonse Gabriel Capone, an American gangster, was finally convicted on charges of tax evasion in 1931. This conviction effectively ended his reign as a notorious organized crime boss during the Prohibition era. In which bay is Alcatraz Island located? San Francisco Bay. Alcatraz Island, the site of the infamous former federal penitentiary, is situated in San Francisco Bay, California. Its location in the bay made it ideal for a high-security prison due to the cold, strong currents. Where is the Valley of the Kings, site of a terrorist attack in 1997? Egypt. The Valley of the Kings is located in Egypt, on the west bank of the Nile River near Luxor. It served as the burial ground for pharaohs and powerful nobles of the New Kingdom.